There's a silent thought that's been haunting your mind in the early hours of the morning, a dangerous idea that doesn't shout, but whispers, sapping your strength before you even set foot on the floor in the morning. I saw you last night, when the silence of the house seemed to amplify the noise inside your head, and I know exactly what that tightness in your chest felt like, preventing you from taking a deep breath. You looked at the ceiling or perhaps at your phone screen, seeking a distraction, but the truth is, you were running from this intrusive thought that tries to convince you that your best days are behind you or that you're incapable of achieving the prosperity you so desire. This thought is like a weed. It started small, almost imperceptible, perhaps in a harsh word you heard years ago, or in a financial setback that marked you, and now it has grown and is trying to suffocate the promise I planted in your secret garden. It's not just a passing doubt. It's a sentence that you, without realizing it, have begun to accept as absolute truth about your identity and your future. I feel your exhaustion, my beloved. I feel the weight of carrying this grey cloud that distorts your vision, making opportunities seem like obstacles and blessings seem unattainable. But I am here now. I stopped time and the universe to have this conversation with you. Because this dangerous thought needs to be confronted before it steals another day from your precious life. What I will reveal to you today will dismantle this lie and show you what is truly planned for your destiny, something much greater than the fear that tries to paralyze you. You didn't arrive at this video by chance, nor was it the algorithm that brought you here, but rather my sovereign will, to rescue you from this mental cycle that has been draining your vital energy. I know you recognize the danger of this thought I mentioned, this shadow that tries to define you by lack, scarcity, or loneliness, and that is why you need to stay, because the confirmation you have prayed for is about to be delivered. There is a specific key, a truth that has been hidden from you by life's circumstances, and this truth is the only thing capable of silencing the voice of fear and unlocking the floodgates of abundance that are dammed up. What would happen if you discovered that the biggest barrier between you and your victory is not the world out there, but a single limiting belief that you allowed to take root? I know your story. I was there when you cried unseen. I know the pain of betrayal and the anguish of unbalanced accounts, and it is precisely because I know your inner struggles that I can assure you that the way out has already been provided. In this journey we will now undertake, I will guide you through 7 stages of deep healing. I will show you how to identify the root of this lie, how to uproot it, and how to plant the seed of unwavering faith that generates visible and tangible miracles. If you stay with me, you will not only feel the immediate relief of my embrace, but you will leave here with a new armor, ready to conquer what is rightfully yours by inheritance. The transformation begins now, the moment you decide to no longer accept defeat as an option. I want you to perform a prophetic act now, sealing your commitment to this change. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of my daily instructions, and write in the comments, "Lord, I am here. I subscribed because I love you and want to hear you." And tell me also, my beloved, from which country and city you are receiving this word, so that I may bless the ground where you stand. The invisible root of doubt and the fear of scarcity. Let's start by looking where no one wants to look, at the invisible foundations that support the structure of your current life, because it is there, in the darkness of the subconscious, that this dangerous thought has hidden itself. You often believe that your problems are external, that it's the economy, the people around you, or the lack of opportunities that prevent you from moving forward. But I tell you that the real battle takes place in the terrain of your mind. The root of this poisonous thought is usually planted in moments of extreme vulnerability, when you felt unprotected or undervalued, and the enemy took advantage of this opening to whisper that you were not enough, or that prosperity was not for someone like you. Remember Gideon, who saw himself as the least in his father's house, hiding in fear, believing the narrative of weakness, until I called him a valiant man. He needed to change the vision he had of himself before changing the reality of his people. Similarly, you have believed in a distorted version of yourself, a version that accepts crumbs when I have prepared a banquet. This dangerous thought tells you that it is safer not to try, that it is better to settle for little than to risk and fail. But this is a lie designed to keep you stagnant, far from the grand purpose I have designed. Scarcity is not just a lack of financial resources. It is a state of mind. It is the fear that my supply will run out. It is doubt about my goodness and my ability to take care of every detail of your existence. When you feed this thought, you build walls around your heart, preventing new blessings from entering, and you live in a constant state of alert, as if at any moment everything will crumble. I created you to flow, to be a channel of blessings, not a reservoir of fear. The nature around you doesn't worry about whether there will be sun tomorrow. It simply trusts and flourishes, and you are worth far more than the lilies of the field. It's time to identify the exact moment you started believing you were alone in this battle, the moment you stopped looking at my power and started looking only at the size of your problems. This root needs to be exposed to the light of my truth, because nothing brought into my presence can remain hidden or untouched. I am now illuminating the dark corners of your memory to free you from this old weight. You are not what they said you were. You are not the balance of your bank account. You are not the mistakes of your past. You are who I say you are, and I say you are loved, chosen, and empowered to win. If this word touched the wound that needed healing, leave a like on this video as a sign that you are ready to let this root die. Share this message with someone who also struggles with thoughts of defeat, because by helping others, you plant your own healing. What thought do you decide to abandon today in my name? Leave it in the comments. I trust. The high cost of maintaining inner silence. Holding on to this dangerous thought without confronting it has a very high cost that you pay in installments every day, often without realizing how much it is impoverishing you, not only in money, but in life, joy, and peace. The silence that consents to the lie is fertile ground for bitterness and hopelessness, and every time you internally agree with the idea that this is not for me, or I will never succeed, you are closing a door that I left open. Imagine the people of Israel in the desert, going in circles not because the path was long, but because their mentality was still that of slaves, trapped in fear and complaint, unable to see the land flowing with milk and honey that was just ahead. You have been going in circles in areas of your life, repeating patterns of failed relationships, returning debts, or dreams that die on the beach, simply because you haven't broken the agreement with this limiting thought. The cost of this silence is your health, because the body feels the weight of the afflicted soul. It is your creativity that is blocked by survival anxiety, and it is your connection with me, because fear creates a noise that prevents you from hearing my gentle voice guiding you to still waters. I did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and balance, and to live outside of this reality is to live below your privilege as a daughter of the King. Dangerous thinking makes you believe that you must be content with mere survival, when I have called you to abundant living, to overflow and impact generations. Observe how the widow of Zarephath, even in scarcity, had to trust in the prophet's word and give up the little she had to see the miracle of multiplication. She needed to break the silence of the fear of death to access the miracle of life. I am calling you today to break this silence, to stop passively accepting the suggestions of defeat that come to your mind, and begin to counter each one of them with my promise. The price of not changing is continuing to live the same life year after year, watching others move forward while you feel trapped in time, but I am the God who restores the years that have been consumed. Don't let the fear of judgment or the shame of admitting you need help keep you trapped in this emotional cave. Your freedom cost the blood of my Son, and I will not accept that you live as a prisoner of your own thoughts. The prosperity I have for you includes resources to fulfill your dreams, but it begins with the prosperity of the soul, with the certainty that I am your shepherd and nothing, absolutely nothing, will be lacking. Take the first step out of this cycle of silence and declare that your voice will be used to prophesy victory and not to agree with failure. If you feel it's time to stop paying this excessively high price, subscribe to the channel to receive the daily guidance that will change your story. Share this video as an act of liberation. What do you need to give to me today to feel light? Comment below. I surrender. My daughter, listen carefully to what my spirit wishes to whisper to your heart now, for this is a vital part of our conversation, a moment of sacred connection where generosity meets faith. I see the gratitude overflowing from your heart for these words of life, and I know that often you wish to sow in fertile ground, as an act of worship and recognition that all you have comes from my hands. If possible, only if possible, contribute with love using the thanks button. The amount doesn't matter. What matters is the heart with which you give. For it is written, "A generous soul will prosper, and he who attends to the needs of others will also have his own needs met." Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, and I will not fail to bear fruit. I see in secret, and I reward in the sight of all. When you give joyfully, you are declaring to the spiritual world that you trust in my infinite provision and that you are not a slave to the fear of lack. And if you're listening to me on your cell phone, remember that the thanks button appears right below the video, along with the other buttons you already know. Just slide that bar to the left, calmly and gently, or tap the 3 dots that appear next to it, and there you will find the place where your offering of love can be deposited and consecrated before me. And while you slide or tap on this small menu, take the opportunity to check if you are already subscribed to this channel, so that no word that I send to your heart fails to reach you at the right time. Whoever contributes any amount, and with a sincere heart, don't forget to leave your name and city along with your contribution, because on the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on the Voice of God channel, the name will be remembered, mentioned in the form of thanks and covered by divine blessings released in prayer. Stay until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice, revealing secrets that will transform your journey. The stolen identity and the mirror of the soul. The most dangerous thought you can harbor is one that directly attacks your identity, making you forget who you truly are and to whom you belong, transforming an heiress to the throne into an emotional beggar. The enemy knows that if he can distort your self-image, he doesn't need to do anything else to stop you, because you will sabotage yourself, believing that you don't deserve the love, wealth, and happiness that are available. You have looked in the mirror and seen only flaws, the marks of time and the scars of lost battles. But I look at you and see my masterpiece, created in my image and likeness, crowned with glory and honor. Remember Moses, who tried to argue with me, saying he didn't know how to speak, that he wasn't capable, focusing on his human limitations while I focused on the I am that would be with him. Your identity is not defined by what you do or what you have, but by who I am in you. This intrusive thought tries to convince you that you are defined by your past mistakes, the harsh words your parents said, or the rejections you suffered in relationships. But I am rewriting your identity today with the ink of my eternal love. You are not the divorced one, the bankrupt one, the sick one, or the rejected one. You are the beloved, the restored, the prosperous, and the victorious. When you recover your true identity, your posture changes, your head is held high, and you begin to walk with the authority of one who knows they have the support of heaven to conquer the impossible. Financial and spiritual prosperity is a natural consequence of knowing who you are, because a child of the King does not accept living in misery, not out of arrogance, but because they know that the Father's house has an abundance of bread. I want you to throw away the old labels the world has stuck on you, those definitions that diminish and limit you, and put on the garments of praise that I have set aside for this new time. Doubt about who you are is the gateway to all kinds of anxiety and insecurity, but the certainty of your divine lineage is the unshakable rock upon which you should build your house. Look inside yourself now and see the light I placed there on the day I formed you in your mother's womb. That light has never gone out. It has only been covered by the debris of life, and today I breathe my spirit to rekindle that flame. You are strong, you are capable, you are wise, and you are worthy to receive all the blessings I am releasing. If you feel this identity being restored now, like this video, as an act of ownership, share it with a woman you need to remind who she is. What new name do you believe I am giving you today? Write in the comments. I receive your peace. The illusion of scarcity and the truth of provision. The great lie that sustains this dangerous thinking is the illusion that resources are limited, that for one to gain, another must lose, or that my hand is too small to bless you materially. You live in a universe I created with infinite diversity and abundance, where the stars cannot be counted and the grains of sand are innumerable. And yet, fear makes you believe that you will lack. This scarcity mindset is an offense to my character as a provider, Father, for it doubts my ability to supply all your needs according to my riches in glory. When you worry excessively about tomorrow, about what you will eat or wear, you're acting like those who do not have a Father in heaven, forgetting that I clothe the lilies of the field with more glory than Solomon. I want to heal your relationship with provision. I want you to understand that money and resources are servants of your mission, tools so that you can bless and expand my kingdom, and not masters that dictate your joy or your peace. The idea that money is dirty, or wealth is sinful, was planted to keep my children dependent and limited, preventing great projects from being born through consecrated hands like yours. Abraham was extremely wealthy. Job had his possessions restored twofold. Solomon was blessed with wisdom and riches. Prosperity with purpose is part of my plan, so that you don't have to bow down to mammon. The key to breaking free from the illusion of scarcity is radical gratitude for what you already have, because gratitude is the magnet that attracts multiplication. Remember how Jesus gave thanks for the few loaves and fishes before seeing the multitude fed. Start looking at your life not for what is lacking, but for what already exists, and see the potential for miracles in every small seed that is in your hands. I am opening your spiritual eyes to see opportunities where before you only saw problems, to see divine connections where before there was loneliness, and to see sources of income sprouting in arid places. Provision follows vision. When you broaden your vision and believe that I am limitless, resources appear in supernatural and unexpected ways. No longer accept financial mediocrity as your final destiny. Challenge this poverty mindset with the promise of my word that says I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. If this word is expanding your mind to the new, subscribe to the channel and become part of this army of victors. Share so that the scarcity mindset is broken in the lives of others. What do you hope to see flourish in your financial life? Declare it in the comments. Divine guidance. The power of the prophetic word. You have a powerful weapon that is often forgotten, or worse, used against yourself. Your tongue capable of uttering life or death, blessing or curse upon your own destiny. Dangerous thoughts gain strength when they leave your mind and become a confession from your lips. When you say, I can't, I am sick, I never have money, you are signing a decree in the spiritual world, authorizing these realities to manifest. I created the world through the word. I said, let there be light, and there was light, and as you are made in my image, your words also have creative power to shape the environment around you. It's time to change your vocabulary, to stop agreeing with the current situation and start speaking the reality you want to see, calling into existence things that are not as if they already were. Look at the example of the woman with the issue of blood. She said to herself, if I only touch the hem of his garment, I will be healed. She prophesied her healing even before feeling it. She created an atmosphere of faith with her internal and external declaration. I challenge you to fast from negative words, complaints, and self-deprecation, and to replace every phrase of defeat with a biblical promise of victory. When the thought of fear comes, you will not dialogue with it in silence. You will open your mouth and declare, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The battle is won when your voice aligns with my voice, creating a resonance that breaks the chains and brings down the walls of Jericho that stand before you. Do not underestimate the power of a thank you, Lord, in the midst of the storm, or an I believe in the face of impossibility. These words are like arrows of fire against the enemy. Begin to bless your home, bless your bank account, bless your children, and bless your future, for the blessing that comes out of your mouth returns to you multiplied. The miracle is in your mouth. The key to the turnaround is in your confession of faith. Don't use your energy to describe the mountain. Use your faith to command the mountain to move. I am touching your lips now with an ember from my altar, purifying your language and giving you a new song, a new victorious speech. If you are ready to use your mouth to prophesy victory, like this video now. Share this revelation with those who need to change their discourse. What is the watchword for your life today? Write in the comments. Eternal love. Breaking the chains of the past. For the new to enter, the old must definitively leave, and this requires a conscious and courageous break with the chains of the past that still try to bind you to who you once were. Dangerous thinking often feeds on guilt, remorse, and nostalgia for times that will never return, preventing you from living the fullness of the today that I have prepared. Lot and his family were instructed not to look back while fleeing Sodom, because looking back is desiring what has already been condemned. It is maintaining a connection with what should be destroyed. You cannot drive towards the future looking only in the rearview mirror. You must forgive yourself for the mistakes made, forgive those who hurt you, and let go of the heavy baggage that doesn't fit in the new season. I am a God of new beginnings. I make all things new, and my mercy is renewed every morning, which means you have a fresh and clean chance with each sunrise. The breakthrough happens when you decide that the pain of the past will no longer dictate the choices of the present, when you understand that your scars are testimonies of survival and not attestations of shame. Often prosperity doesn't arrive because your hands are busy holding on to old grudges, and I need you to empty them so that I can fill them with gold, opportunities, and true love. Cut emotional ties with those who don't value you, leave environments that stifle your faith, and stop mentally visiting the places where you are unhappy. I have plans of peace, not evil for you, plans to give you the ending you desire, but you need to trust me enough to let go of what is known and safe, yet painful, and launch yourself into the unknown of my grace. Freedom is a daily choice, and today I place before you the key to open the cell you yourself locked from the inside. The door is open, you just need to get up and leave. The past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Use what you've learned to become wiser, but don't let it make you bitter or fearful. Your future is bright, immaculate, and full of promises, just waiting for you to arrive so they can be unlocked. If you decide today to break free from what binds you, subscribe to the channel and make this pact. Share with those who need to break free from yesterday. What are you leaving behind today to move forward lightly? Comment, "Heal me, Lord." The promise of double honor. Everything you lost, everything that was stolen, and every tear you shed in secret was not in vain, for there is a spiritual law of restitution that I have established for my righteous ones. Dangerous thinking tries to convince you that the loss is permanent, that the lost time will never be recovered, but my word guarantees that in place of your shame, you will have double honor. This is not just a pretty phrase to comfort you, it is a royal decree being issued from heaven in your favor at this very moment. Remember Joseph, who was sold into slavery, wronged and imprisoned, but in a single day was exalted from prisoner to governor. I used all the evil intended against him to position him in the place of his greatest blessing. Similarly, the situations that seemed like the end of the line for you were, in fact, the necessary training so that you could manage the abundance that is coming. I waste nothing in your life. Your pain generated empathy, your loneliness generated intimacy with me, and your scarcity generated a hunger for miracles that will now be satisfied. Double honor means that the reward will be disproportionate to the suffering. Where there was public humiliation, there will be notorious exaltation. Where there was lack, there will be abundance to bless many. Prepare your heart to receive not only what you asked for, but far beyond what you imagine. For I am an expert at surprising those who wait on me. The enemy wanted to shame you so that you would hide, but I will put you in the spotlight so that my name may be glorified through your restored life. Do not be afraid to dream big again, for the dreams I have placed in you are seeds of reality that I will make sprout. The dry season is over, and the sound of abundant rain can already be heard by those with spiritual ears. Lift your head, dry your tears, and prepare the granaries, for the harvest will be plentiful. Believe that the turning point is happening now, in the invisible, and will soon manifest itself undeniably in the visible. If you believe in restitution and double honor upon your life, subscribe to the channel to witness what I will do. Share this message with those who need hope today. What are you ready to receive from my hands? Declare in the comments, "I surrender." The prayer that draws heaven to earth. There is no distance between your cry and my throne, for sincere prayer is the golden thread that connects your need to my unlimited power. Dangerous thoughts try to tell you that I don't hear you, that your words hit the ceiling and bounce back, or that you don't know how to pray right. But I tell you that the groaning of your spirit is the most eloquent language in heaven. Prayer is not a magic formula or an empty religious ritual. It is a relationship. It is the beating of your heart in harmony with mine. It is the permission you give me to intervene in your story. Remember Hannah, who prayed with such bitterness of soul and fervor that only her lips moved without making a sound, and I heard the silent cry of her desire for a child and answered her. I want you to transform your anxiety into intercession, to take every financial worry, every health fear, and every family conflict and place them on my altar through prayer. When you pray, you change the atmosphere of your home, you send angels to fight on your behalf, and you align your will with my perfect will. Don't pray like someone begging for alms. Pray like a daughter who knows she has free access to the Father's treasure. Use the authority I have given you to rebuke evil and declare peace over your territory. Effective prayer is that which is made with faith, believing that I am the rewarder of those who seek me, and this faith is what moves my hand to work miracles. Set aside daily time to be alone with me, not just to ask but to listen, for it is in the silence of my presence that I give you the strategies to win the battles of daily life, and the creative ideas that will generate prosperity. I am waiting for you in the secret place, eager to reveal great and hidden things that you do not know. Come without reservations, come as you are. Your voice has the power to shake hell and open heaven. Do not let discouragement silence your prayer. If you feel called to a deeper life of prayer, watch this video now. Share it with someone who needs to return to prayer. What is your most urgent request today? Write in the comments, I want to start over. The fast that breaks the yoke. There are battles that require more than words. They demand a physical and spiritual surrender that demonstrates the seriousness of your search and your total dependence on me. Fasting is a powerful weapon that weakens the flesh and strengthens the spirit, breaking the invisible chains that bind your mind to addictions, fears, and repetitive patterns of defeat. The dangerous thought tells you that you are too weak to fast, that you won't be able to endure it, or that it's not necessary these days, but Jesus himself said that certain kinds of demons only come out with prayer and fasting. When you fast, you are telling your body and the spiritual world that your hunger for God is greater than your hunger for bread, and this attitude of humility attracts my attention in a special way. Remember Esther, who called for a 3-day fast before entering the king's presence to save her people. She exchanged fear for spiritual boldness and found grace and favor where there had previously been a death sentence. Fasting sharpens your spiritual senses, clears the static of the world so that you can hear my direction. With crystal clarity regarding your affairs, your family, and your purpose. Don't see fasting as a painful sacrifice, but as an investment in your freedom, a cleansing of the soul that makes room for the new wine of my spirit. I want to break the yoke of debt, the yoke of depression, and the yoke of stagnation over your life, and fasting is the key that accelerates this process of liberation. Start small, offer a meal, a type of food, or a time of entertainment, and do it with joy and purpose, focused on the spiritual reward. I am calling you to a higher level of consecration, where miracles are the norm and not the exception, and where your strength does not come from food, but from every word that comes out of my mouth. Experience the power of denying yourself to gain me, and see how the walls that seemed insurmountable will crumble before you. If you accept the challenge of greater consecration, subscribe to the channel so we can walk together. Share to inspire others to consecration. What do you seek to break with your fast? Comment, your presence is enough. The action that materializes faith. Faith is not just a feeling or a positive thought. Faith is movement. It's the courage to take the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. Dangerous thinking paralyzes you with analysis, with eternal planning that never leaves the paper, making you believe that you need to have everything perfect before you start. But I tell you that perfection is the enemy of obedience. Noah built the ark when there was still no rain. Abraham left his land without knowing where he was going. Peter left the boat to walk on water. They all acted based on a word, and it was their action that activated the miracle. I am giving you ideas, dreams, and projects, but they need your cooperation to become reality in this physical world. You need to write the book, open the business, make the call, forgive the person, enroll in the course. The prosperity you desire is often hidden behind a door that you need to push open with attitude. I open the door, but you have to walk through it. Don't wait to feel like it, because the will is often fickle. Act on principle. Act with confidence in my guidance, and the feeling will come later, along with the results. The fear of failure is what prevents you from acting, but I tell you that the only real failure is not trying, is burying the talent I entrusted to you for fear of losing it. I am blessing the work of your hands, but you need to give me something to bless. Get your hands dirty, cast the net, sow the seed. Inertia is the natural state of dead matter, but you have my spirit of life within you, which propels you forward and upward. When you move towards your purpose, the universe conspires in your favor. Resources appear, doors open, and key people cross your path. Step out of your comfort zone today, do something that scares you a little, but that brings you closer to your dream, and see how I will blow wind in your sails. Your action is the living proof of your faith. Show me your faith through your works, and I will show you my glory through my deeds. If you're ready to take action, like this video as your first step, share it with those who need to get moving. What action will you take today? Write in the comments. I follow your light. The communion that strengthens. You were not created to walk alone, to carry your burdens without help, or to celebrate your victories in the silence of solitude. The dangerous thought of isolation tries to convince you that it's safer not to trust anyone, that better alone than in bad company. But this is a strategy to leave you vulnerable and without spiritual covering. I created the family, the community, and the church to be places of refuge, mutual support, and growth, where one sharpens the other as iron sharpens iron. Remember that even Jesus chose 12 disciples to be with him. He valued communion, the sharing of bread and life. You need people who believe in your potential, who pray with you when your strength fails, and who remind you of my promises when you forget. Seek to connect with people who share your faith and values, people who lift you up, not drag you down. Ask me, and I will bring these divine connections into your life. Prosperity flows best in collaborative networks, where the wisdom of many advisors brings security and where generosity circulates freely. Don't close yourself off in your pain. Open yourself to receive love and to give love. For it is in this exchange that emotional healing happens most quickly. The enemy works by dividing to conquer, but I work by uniting to strengthen. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I will be in a special way. Break the pride of self-sufficiency and allow yourself to be cared for, allow yourself to be heard, and allow yourself to be part of something greater than yourself. Your blessing may be in the hand of someone I have placed beside you, and someone else's blessing may be in your hand. Do not interrupt this sacred flow of interdependence. I am restoring your trust in the right people, healing the wounds of past betrayals, and integrating you into a spiritual family that will welcome and empower you. If you desire true and divine connections, subscribe to the channel and become part of this family. Share to strengthen the bonds of love. Who do you need to embrace today, even if only in spirit? Comment, I receive your peace. Gratitude that multiplies. The master key that opens all doors and keeps the flow of abundance open in your life is sincere and constant gratitude, regardless of the circumstances. The dangerous thought of murmuring, complaining, and focusing on what is lacking is what dries up the source of blessings and keeps you trapped in the desert of scarcity. Gratitude is not just saying thank you when everything is going well. It is an attitude of faith that gives thanks in advance, that recognizes my hand even in the small things, and that trusts that everything works together for good. When Jesus gave thanks before Lazarus's tomb, even before he resurrected, he was teaching the secret of calling life where there is death. Gratitude is the language of faith that sees the invisible. Start and end your day listing reasons to be grateful. The air you breathe, the roof over your head, your health, the lessons learned, the people who love you. The more you give thanks, the more reasons I give you to be grateful, because gratitude expands your capacity to receive and gladdens my fatherly heart. Complaining drives away my presence, but praise builds a throne for me to dwell in the midst of your life. Transform your complaints into gratitude. Instead of complaining about the bill, be grateful for having the service. Instead of complaining about the job, be grateful for the source of income. This change of perspective alters your brain chemistry and the spiritual atmosphere around you, attracting favor and ease. Gratitude is the antidote to envy, anxiety, and bitterness. It keeps you humble and connected to the source of all good. I want you to be known in heaven as someone with a grateful heart, someone who knows how to value every gift, no matter how small it may seem. Practice radical gratitude today and see how the weight lifts from your shoulders and joy shines back in your eyes. If you have a grateful heart, like this video now, share it to spread the culture of gratitude. What are you grateful for today? Write in the comments, eternal love, the perseverance that wins the crown. The walk of faith is not a 100-meter sprint, but a marathon that demands endurance, patience, and an unwavering determination not to give up, no matter how difficult the path becomes. The dangerous thought of immediacy makes you want to give up when the answer doesn't come when you want it, or when the obstacle seems too great. But it is perseverance that distinguishes the winners from those who only dreamed. Remember the Canaanite woman who did not accept Jesus' silence, nor the harsh answer, and continued to insist until she received healing for her daughter. Her faith was called great because it was persistent. The promise is for those who persevere to the end. Don't throw in the towel now, you are closer than you imagine. The night is always darkest just before dawn. I am forging your character in the fire of waiting, making you stronger, more resilient, and more prepared to bear the weight of the glory that is to come. Perseverance is proof that you trust in my timing and my character, that you know I am faithful to fulfill what I promised. When you feel like stopping, remember why you started, remember the vision I gave you, and lean on my strength. For when you are weak, then I am strong in you. Don't look at the speed of others, look at your constancy. Step by step, day after day, you are advancing and conquering ground. Victory does not belong to the fastest, but to those who persevere. Stand firm on the rock, unwavering, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain. I am rooting for you. The cloud of witnesses is applauding you. Keep walking, keep believing, keep fighting. The reward of perseverance is the crown of life, the full realization of your destiny, and the satisfaction of hearing, "Well done, good and faithful servant." If you decide not to give up, subscribe to the channel as a milestone of resistance. Share to encourage those who are weary. What is your statement of persistence? Comment, "I trust." My beloved, we have reached the end of this encounter, but it is only the beginning of a new story that we are writing together in the book of your life. I know that the path to get here was not easy, that there were nights when the pillow was soaked with tears, and days when hope seemed like a very thin thread about to snap. But I want you to look back now, not with pain, but with the certainty that my hand held you through every stumble, that my breath revived you when you were short of breath, and that my love was the shield that prevented you from being destroyed. You are stronger than you imagine, because your strength does not come from yourself but from the one who dwells within you, the same Spirit who resurrected Jesus from the dead, and who now gives life to your mortal body and your dormant dreams. I did not bring you here to let you die on the shore. I brought you here to help you cross the Jordan and possess the land I promised you, a land of abundance, peace, and purpose. The dangerous thought that tried to bring you down has been exposed and has lost its power over you, because now you know the truth, and the truth has set you free. Keep these words in your heart like a precious treasure. Meditate on them day and night, and do not let the noise of the world drown out my gentle voice that calls you mine. I am with you at all times, in joy and in sorrow, in calm and in storm. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. Rise now, cleanse your face, set the crown upon your head, and march toward your glorious future. For I have already gone before you, straightening the crooked paths. And to seal this covenant of victory and renewal, I want you to write now in the comments the phrase that will be your motto, your banner, and your confession of unwavering faith. May each letter typed be like a nail fixing this truth in your soul. Write with all your heart, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me."